sister has brought her Wraith Knight with Sun Cannon and one Scatter Laser, a Wave Serpent with Star Cannons with 5 Wraith Guard with D sights on board, and a Spirit Seer, Wraith Lord with Bright Lance and Scatter Laser, another Wave Serpent, 5 Gun Drones pretending to be Shadow Spectres. She's trying out the rules. And how many Rangers?
8 with Elic.
8 Rangers with Elic and the Pathfinder upgrade. She is up against James, who has brought
Farsight Enclaves. So we've got Farsight and his posse. Farsight's obviously equipped with a Dawn Blade and his plasma rifle. We've got his bodyguards, because we can take up to 7. I've taken 6. We've got 3 burst cannons, 2 fusion blasters, 3 plasma rifles, a flamer, 2 missile pods, 3 shield generators, a cyclic arm blaster, 2 advanced targeting systems, and a targeting lock on the guy with 2 plasma rifles.
just a bit of firepower.
Just a bit of firepower, yep. We've got the Hammerhead, which has got its submunition round and its advanced targeting system.
And burst cannons?
Burst cannons, yep. Fire Warrior team, and we've put the Fireblade in there as well. 2 carbines, the rest with rifles, and that's how I do all of my Fire Warrior squads. We've got Brown Fire Warrior Squadron from Mortal, same minus the Fireblade. Drone is with that squadron. Sniper team hunkered up on the bunker, network marker light, and your high yield pulse rifles. Riptide with his 2 shield drones. He is also packing an Earthcast pilot array and a stimulant injector. He's got twin link fusion blasters, and we've gone for the heavy burst cannon because miniguns. Piranha on his own with burst cannon, and we've also given that the disruption pod as well. Fire Warrior team in Tau colours with a single gun drone, and then another Fire Warrior team all with carbines. All of the Fire Warrior teams have got target lock and marker light with the Shazwi.
And we're playing Crusade?
Crusade, yes.
Crusade with an objective here. Objective there.
Yep.
An objective amongst those Pathfinders, the Tyrannid in there. And an objective over here. And now it's time to see if James concedes the initiative.
No, me.
Well, Bridget concedes the initiative.
I've got the
even.
initiative.
James
Yes,
has the
I
initiative.
have the initiative, yes.
And
I
nope.
forgot.
Okay
they're
then.
they're so stealthy, I've got my stealth team as well.
And there's some stealth suits coming in from reserve.
Yes.
Possibly
2
by a
fusion
deep
blasters,
strike,
yeah.
and there's also a lovely Crimson Hunter, Exarch, with the star cannons. So see you at the end of James's turn 1. So James, Farsight moved from there up to here. Didn't do much, did they?
No, their weapons are mainly out of range,
Yeah.
so it's just about getting them closer if possible.
The Hammerhead moved up, got immobilised by clipping a wall. Clever guy.
Yeah.
Shot at the Wave Serpent, did nothing. These guys focused their fire into the Wraith Knight, causing 2 wounds. It was both them, wasn't it?
It was
One from these guys,
one from Red Troop,
one from them, and
the
one
sniper
from
drone
the
took one.
sniper drones. Yep.
Yeah.
These guys have moved up. The Riptide tried to shoot at a Wave Serpent. Found
He hit 2
that.
glancing hits, but it passed both of its jinx saves.
Yep. Mostly everything's just sort of moved up. A few pot shots here and there, but no casualties as of yet whatsoever. So we go into Bridget's turn 1.
It's about to get bloody.
So here we are after Bridget's turn 1. The Wave Serpent has advanced from roughly where that yellow box is over to this edge, right in front of Farsight and his boys. Not good looking brilliant over here. A couple of Farsight's guys have died. Well, one of Farsight's guys have died from the Wraith Knight, who's also put a wound on another one. A couple of drones died somewhere.
Riptide.
Ah, the Riptide's lost both of his drones. What shot him to get rid of those, Bridget?
Bright
Was it
Yeah, it was the Wraith
Scatterlaser.
Lord.
Wraith Lord?
Scatterlaser got those, and then you tried to lance the Riptide, and he just went.
Yep. The Shadow Spectre drones have been wandering around trying to take out the Piranha. And this Wave Serpent has gone all the way over here. Bearing in mind, this is James's table edge. That's not far from it.
Linebreaker first turn.
Unfortunately, no kill points have gone yet. No first blood. No secondary objectives.
Linebreaker.
It's all gonna kick off next turn.
So turn 2. James's turn 2. Here we are at the end of James's turn 2. His Fire Warriors have finished moving up to this objective. These guys have moved up. Riptide's stayed more or less where he has been all game. The Fire Warriors and Farsight's moved up there. And the Hammerhead is still sitting there immobilised, not doing much. However, there's a distinct lack of something there called a Wraith Knight. And there's a distinct lack of something there called a Wraith Lord. As a result of this, James is now in the lead of one secondary objective, and he's holding this objective to Bridget's this objective.
This guy here. How about the helmet? That's who killed him.
Yep. Unfortunately, those guys can't hold that objective.
We can contest it.
We can test it, but it's one objective each at the moment. And James has got first blood. And he wasn't your warlord, was he? Elix your warlord. And James has found an item.
Yes.
And now we see if Bridget's flyer turns up. Which it does. See you at the end of Bridget's turn 2. So here we are at the end of Bridget's turn 2. Not much movement over here. Wraithguard have come out of their transport here and killed 2 of Farsight's bodyguards. With a whole chunk of Farsight's bodyguards passing a whole chunk of their vulnerables. The Hammerhead's still there, completely ignored. What else has happened? Over here, these guys have the Shadow Spectre drones. Have put a couple of wounds onto the Fire Warriors there. Didn't cause them to run. Farsight, the Riptide is not quite Farsight. Has had a couple of wounds put onto him from the Flyer and the Rangers. The Wraithguard there have popped out, killed almost half of those Fire Warriors and caused them to start fleeing towards the board edge. It's still just about James being in the lead, but we're only about to go into turn 3. See what happens. See you at the end of James's turn 3. So here we are at the end of James's turn 3. His Fire Warriors here, and the Sniper drones all tried shooting into these Wraithguard, only killing 1, thanks to an increase to their armor save earlier. Over here, pretty much everything shot into the Wraithguard that were there. They're no more, and even the Wave Serpents lost a wound. James now has this objective as well as the objective in the bunker area of the macro cannon. So is now leading by quite a bit.
That's until those D-sides.
Until the D-sides sweep in, take that out, and capture that, and sit there and hide with cover saves as well as 2-up armor saves potentially. It's going to be a hard one to get off there. Especially with all that hiding in that trench. But yeah, it's essentially gone from, in just a couple of turns, from Dawn of War deployment to Hammer and Anvil, with Bridget over here and James over
I
here.
kind of know that that objective over there is a bit of a lost cause. That's going to be very hard to get those 2 units off in the time remaining. I'm kind of resigned to losing that objective because I know she's going to de-side my fire wires out there, so I'll try and hold on for this one as long as I can. If I can get a unit up to claim this one as well, that's a bonus, and then just get as many of my units over to this side of the board to steal line breaker. That's
So your warlord unit is potentially going to start legging it across the board.
Yeah. Well, he's not my warlord. Farsight's my
Oh,
warlord.
sorry, not your warlord.
My
Yeah, fire
blades
blades.
unit that I never move normally might start moving towards this side of the board. Yeah.
So see you at the end of Bridget's turn 3. Watch out for the flyer. Welcome to the end of Bridget's turn 3. Things have moved up and the Wraith Guard have vaporised the Tau squad there with 5 instant deathing wounds that ignored armour and cover. Not good. The Pathfinders over there had a few shots at Farsight's bodyguard, who has suffered heavily from the flyer. And over here the Hammerhead has been reduced to 2 engines. Unfortunately, the rest of it's gone, thanks to the Serpent Shield. Yes, the shield killed the tank. The Riptide's still there with 2 wounds. Most of the rest of the tower's still okay and alive. And yep, it's now James's turn 4. Not too long left, but he is just about in the lead at the moment, although Bridget seems determined to get Slay the Warlord and both sides of Linebreaker. So so on to turn 4. Here we are at the end of James' turn 4. He's moving up to secure this objective very clearly. He's definitely got that one, and his entire army, every single model apart from this squad that didn't do anything, shot at the flyer. But yeah, that squad didn't do anything, so forgot all about them. And the flyer eventually died after making a ridiculous number of jinks. So we're about to move on to Bridget's turn 4, in which she'll probably grab that objective and hunker on down, but she still has her wave serpents, so she might still be able to finish off certain things. Farsight's bodyguard is getting a bit thin on the ground. So I'll see you at the end of Bridget's turn 4. Right, so here we are at the end of James's turn. 4 or 5 now?
That's the end of turn 5.
End of turn 5. Oh dear, we're almost at the end. These guys have killed. Oh well, these guys have killed a couple of them. They did nothing apart from hit with a marker light on a 6 somehow. The wave serpents are still here behind James. His fire warriors have turned to face. Don't know whether that will help anything. And these ones are holding that objective. These guys are holding this objective now. Farsight and the rest of the battle suits, including the Riptide and the Stealth suit, have advanced up here. And where these dice are was where the Shadow Spectres were. They are no more. Rangers are still fine. And here we are going into Bridget's turn 5. Possibly the final turn. And as it stands, James is winning by 1. Here we go. So here we are at the end of Bridget's turn 5. She's still holding her 2 objectives. These lot have obliterated the sniper drones apart from their lovely sort of marker light guy. This wave serpent has gone and almost obliterated those fire warriors who just passed their save. Over there, Farsight is now without a bodyguard and has lost a wound. We're at the end of turn 5. Do we continue? Yes.
We do.
We definitely do continue. See you at the end of turn 6. Oh, is there night fighting? No, there isn't night fighting. So, turn 6.
Yeah.
Here we are at the end of James's turn 6 now. Very quick turn. The Piranha's moved up here, tried to shoot at the Wraith Guard, didn't do any damage. The two that were on top of the Sky Shield have moved up to try and help hold that objective just in case. The drone's little controller guy, he actually ran off because we forgot to do his leadership.
Bark.
The Riptide came up here, came around this side and obliterated the Wave Serpent. These guys moved to make sure that they were holding the objective well. Farsight went and joined the stealth suits and backed away a bit. Now it's Bridget's turn 6. She needs to either slay the Warlord to get a draw or take James off an objective. Here we go. So here we are at the end of the game. Bridget killed a couple of the stealth suits and took another wound off the Riptide. Fortunately that was it, which means James has won 8 points to 7, literally winning on having first blood, which strangely happened quite late on in the game. Both Warlords still live. There's Farsight with his new posse of stealth suits, and Elik is somewhere in there. It's quite dark in there, but he's somewhere in there.
We wouldn't be Elik if you could see him.
Yeah, so, post-game thoughts. James?
That was really, really close.
Bloody Riptide.
I think my Fire Warriors kind of milled about for a couple of turns on stuff that I think I should have started moving for objectives sooner, and I really needed, with hindsight, difficult to say in a Tau army, but if I had some close combat to go in and remove those two, or lots of flamers. So lots of flamers and some pathfinders would have been really, really useful to get rid of the cover saves from those guys in cover, because I didn't contend those objectives. I didn't contend that objective once. Bridget held that for the entire game and they just sat on it. And those guys, as soon as the D-sides came along, were mincemeat. So yeah, it was that's good fun. First time I've ever beaten Eldar. So
And my army.
even by doing it by the skin of my teeth, I'm pleased with how Farsight did nothing and the Hammerhead did nothing.
But your man of the match?
Probably the Fire Warrior that took down the Crimson Hunter. So this guy who's still alive, him. That's my man of the match.
Not quite in focus, but never mind.
No.
And Bridget.
Need more Bernie. And Snipe.
It's pretty much the same as my summary. It's like I need more birdie things and snipers.
Man of the match, if you've got one. Probably this Wave Serpent.
Yeah,
I mean, it absorbed a fair chunk. It came over here and killed that. It took out
my Crimson Hunter as well.
Crimson Hunter did a fair chunk as well. Yeah, he absorbed a whole turn's shooting.
And he killed most of that bodyguard as well. Actually, I think if I had not killed that Crimson Hunter when I did, then you probably would have got Slade Warlord, because you would have chucked all those bright lances into Farsight.
It's that sheer amount of AP2 shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is the end of this game, and see you all later.